I am sitting in an empty apartment right now, looking out at the lake as the evening light fades. This is one of 3 apartments I inherited from my grandfather 6 months ago. 3 properties worth over $1 million total. My wife Amelia does not know about them. Or at least she did not know until 2 hours ago when her mother walked through our door with a notary public and a stack of legal documents. I thought keeping this secret would protect our marriage. I thought I was being smart, cautious, protecting what we had built together. I had no idea I was setting a trap for myself. Before I tell you how everything fell apart, I would love to know, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. If you have ever kept a secret from someone you love because you were trying to protect them, hit that like button. And subscribe, because this story gets way more complicated than I ever imagined. All right, let me take you back to where it all started. I work as an accountant at a small firm in Portland, Oregon. Nothing fancy, just steady work that pays around $55,000 a year. It is enough to live comfortably, save a little, and not worry too much about bills. 2 years ago, I met Amelia at a coffee shop in downtown Portland. She was sitting by the window with a sketchbook drawing the street scene outside. When she stood up to leave, she dropped the sketchbook and papers scattered everywhere. I helped her pick them up, and that was it. We started talking about art, about dreams, about the little things that make life worth living. She worked as a freelance graphic designer, creating logos and branding for small businesses. She loved her work, loved the freedom it gave her, and she did not care much about material things. That was what drew me to her. Amelia saw me for who I was, not for what I had or what I could give her. We would walk hand in hand through Waterfront Park, cook dinner together in my tiny kitchen, watch old movies on Friday nights. She made me feel like I mattered, like I was enough just being myself. 3 months before our wedding, my grandfather Harold passed away at 87 years old. He had raised me after my parents divorced when I was 10. My dad moved to California, my mom remarried and moved to Texas, and Grandpa Harold took me in without hesitation. He worked in real estate his whole life, bought properties, fixed them up, rented them out. He taught me about hard work, about integrity, about treating people fairly. When he died, I felt like I had lost the one person who truly understood me. A week after the funeral, his attorney called me into his office. I sat across from this man in a gray suit, and he slid a folder across the desk. Inside was a copy of my grandfather's will. Harold had left me 3 apartments in Lake Oswego, one of the wealthier neighborhoods in Portland. Each apartment was worth around $400,000. 2 of them were rented out, bringing in about $4,500 a month in passive income. The third one was empty. It was the apartment where my grandfather had lived, and he had left it exactly as it was, with all his furniture, his books, his photographs still on the walls. I sat there staring at the documents, feeling this strange mix of grief and shock. This changed everything. But did it change us? Did it change what Amelia and I had? Our wedding was only 3 months away. If I told her now, would she think I had been hiding this on purpose? Would she wonder if there were other secrets? I made a decision right there in that office. I would wait. I would wait until after the wedding, until we were settled, until the time felt right. I told myself I was being cautious, protecting what we had. Looking back, I was just scared. Our wedding took place on a small farm outside Portland. About 50 guests, string lights hung between the trees' tables covered in white cloth. It was simple and beautiful, exactly what we both wanted. That was the first time I really spent time with Amelia's mother, Patricia. She was 58 years old, a widow who lived alone in Salem, about 45 miles south of Portland. Amelia's father had died when she was 16, and Patricia had raised her by herself. They were close, maybe too close, but I understood. Patricia seemed kind. She brought a homemade casserole to the rehearsal dinner, hugged me warmly, and told me how happy she was that Amelia had found someone good. She pulled me aside at one point during the reception and put her hand on my arm. "Dean, you take care of my baby girl. That is all I ask." I promised her I would. I meant it. The wedding was perfect. Amelia wore a simple white dress, her hair loose and natural. We said our vows under the trees as the afternoon sun filtered through the leaves. When I looked into her eyes, I felt certain I had made the right choice. I loved her. That was all that mattered. I did not mention the 3 apartments. I told myself I would tell her soon when the time was right. But the truth is, I was already starting to feel the weight of that secret. After the wedding, we moved into a 1-bedroom apartment in southeast Portland. Rent was $1,400 a month. It was small, but cozy. We cooked at home most nights, watched movies on the couch, hiked up to Multnomah Falls on weekends. The $4,500 a month from the rental properties went into a separate bank account I had set up. I did not touch it. I kept telling myself I was waiting for the perfect moment to tell Amelia. 1 month passed, then 2, then 3. And with each passing week, it became harder to bring it up. How do you tell your wife that you have been sitting on $1 million secret for months? Meanwhile, Patricia started visiting more often. At first it was nice. She would bring food help Amelia clean the apartment stay for dinner. But slowly things started to shift. She began asking questions about our finances. "Dean, honey, are you saving enough? You two should be thinking about buying a house. Amelia, why do you not ask Dean for a nicer place?" I tried to brush it off. She is just being a caring mother, I told myself. But there was something in the way she looked around our apartment, like she was measuring its worth, calculating what we could afford. By the 4th month of our marriage, Patricia was visiting every week, sometimes twice a week. Amelia had given her a key to the apartment so she could let herself in if we were not home. I was not thrilled about it, but I did not want to start a fight. One afternoon I came home from work and found Patricia rearranging our kitchen cabinets. She smiled at me like it was the most natural thing in the world. "I just thought this layout would be more efficient, Dean." "You do not mind, do you?" I did mind, but I did not say anything. Then she started commenting on my clothes. "Maybe you should invest in better suits for work, Dean. First impressions matter. You want to move up in your career, do not you?" I wore suits from department stores, nothing expensive, but they were fine. Her comments felt like little jabs, subtle suggestions that I was not quite good enough. The worst part came when she asked to borrow money. It was a Tuesday evening. Amelia was in the shower, and Patricia was sitting at our kitchen table. She looked at me with this sad, vulnerable expression. "Dean, I hate to ask, but could you lend me $2,000? My car needs repairs, and I am a little short this month. Just temporary. I promise I will pay you back." I hesitated. $2,000 was not nothing, but it was not going to break us either. Amelia came out of the bathroom and saw us talking. "Mom needs help with her car," I told her. Amelia's face softened immediately. "Of course we will help Mom. She raised me alone, Dean. Please." So I wrote Patricia a check. She hugged me, thanked me, promised she would pay me back within a month. A month passed. No payment. I brought it up gently one evening when she was over for dinner. Patricia looked at me like I had insulted her. "I thought family does not keep score, Dean." I swallowed my frustration. Amelia squeezed my hand under the table, silently asking me to let it go. So I did. Patricia's visits became more invasive. She would stand in front of my closet and criticize my wardrobe. "This shirt is from Target, Dean. You need to present yourself better." She would cook dinner in our kitchen, but make comments about how cramped the space was. "If you two had a bigger kitchen, I could make so much more." Amelia started to look tense whenever her mother came over. She was caught between us, and I hated putting her in that position. But I also felt like I was being slowly suffocated by Patricia's expectations and criticisms. Then Patricia started talking about us buying a house. "You two should stop wasting money on rent. Build some equity. I could even co-sign a loan to help you qualify." And then came the suggestion I had been dreading. "Maybe I could move in with you. Help with the mortgage. I am getting old, Dean. Living alone in Salem is hard." I tried to decline as gently as I could. "We are not ready yet, Pat. Maybe in a year or two." Her face crumpled. "I see. I am a burden to you. That is what you are saying." Amelia rushed to comfort her. "No, Mom, that is not what he means." But I could see the doubt in Amelia's eyes. That night we had our first real fight. "You are being cold to my mom," Amelia said, her voice shaking. "I am not cold. I just need boundaries. She is my only parent, Dean. I cannot lose her." Amelia was crying now, and I felt terrible. I almost told her about the apartments right then. Maybe if we moved into one of them, Patricia would back off. But then I thought, what if Patricia finds out? What if she expects even more? The fear stopped me from speaking. The next month, things got stranger. Patricia started asking odd questions. "Dean, honey, where did you grow up again? What did your grandfather do for a living exactly? Do you have any inheritance?" "Any properties?" I answered vaguely. "Grandpa worked in real estate, but he retired a long time ago." I did not give details. One afternoon, I came home early and found Patricia going through our filing cabinet. She jumped when she saw me, her face flushed. "Oh, I was just looking for some recipes I think I left here." I did not believe her, but I had no proof. A few days later, I got an email from my grandfather's attorney. The subject line read, "Someone requested property records under your name." My blood went cold. I opened the email. The attorney explained that a woman named Patricia had called his office asking about properties registered in my name. She claimed to be family and wanted to verify some information for estate planning purposes. The attorney had not given her anything, but he wanted me to know someone was digging. I called Patricia immediately. "Did you call my grandfather's attorney?" There was a pause, then her voice came back sweet as honey. "Oh, honey, I was just curious about your family history." Nothing wrong with that, right? I felt violated. She had gone behind my back, invaded my privacy, and now she was lying about it. I told Amelia what happened. She tried to defend her mother at first, but even she looked uncomfortable. "Maybe she was just trying to understand your background better." "No, Amelia. She was investigating me. And I think she found something." On a Saturday afternoon in our 6th month of marriage, I was home with Amelia. We were getting ready to go grocery shopping, talking about what to make for dinner that week. Then we heard a knock at the door. I opened it, and there stood Patricia. Behind her was a man in his 50s wearing a dark suit and carrying a leather briefcase. Patricia walked in without waiting for an invitation. The man followed. "This is Mr. Gregory Finch, a notary public. We need to talk." Her voice was hard, completely different from the sweet tone she usually used. Amelia and I just stared. "Mom? What is going on?" Patricia sat down on our couch like she owned the place. She opened her purse and pulled out a stack of papers. "Dean, I know about the 3 apartments. Lake Oswego. worth over $1 million. You have been hiding this from my daughter. She slid copies of property records across our coffee table. Official documents showing that I owned 3 properties in Lake Oswego, each one valued, each one registered in my name. Amelia picked up one of the papers, her hands shaking. Dean, is this true? I felt the room tilt. I looked at Amelia's face, saw the confusion and hurt there, and I knew there was no more running from this. Yes, it is true. My grandfather left them to me. Amelia's eyes filled with tears. Why did you not tell me? I opened my mouth, but Patricia cut me off. See, Amelia? He lied to you, married you under false pretenses. She pointed at me like I was a criminal. You are a fraud. You made her live in this cramped apartment while you own luxury properties. How could you? Amelia was crying now, looking between her mother and me, not knowing who to believe. Patricia was not done. She pushed more papers across the table. Mr. Finch is here to notarize a property transfer agreement. I felt my stomach drop. What are you talking about? Patricia's face was cold, calculating. You are going to transfer ownership of 2 of those apartments to Amelia, to protect her rights as your wife. And the 3rd apartment you are going to transfer to me, as compensation for lying to my daughter and for the emotional distress you have caused this family. I could not believe what I was hearing. And if I refuse, Patricia smiled, but there was no warmth in it. If you refuse, Amelia will know that you never really loved her, that you only married her to hide your wealth and avoid sharing it. I will advise her to divorce you and take half of everything anyway. Or you can do this willingly, prove you actually care about her, and we can all move forward as a family. Amelia was staring at the papers, her face pale. Mom, I do not know about this. Mr. Finch sat down and opened his briefcase, pulling out pre-printed forms. He did not say anything, just laid them out methodically, like this was a normal business transaction. I looked at Patricia and saw her for what she really was. This was not about protecting Amelia. This was about money. Pure greed. She had manipulated her own daughter's emotions, invaded my privacy, and now she was trying to extort me. I stood up. My voice came out steady and cold. No. Patricia blinked. What I said, no. I am not signing anything. I turned to Amelia. I need to explain, and I did. I told her everything. I did not tell you because I wanted to be sure you loved me, not my money. When we met, you were the first person who saw me for who I really am. I was terrified that money would change that. I was wrong to hide it. I should have trusted you. But my intentions were never to deceive you. I was planning to tell you. I just did not know how. Then I turned back to Patricia. But this is exactly why I kept quiet. I pointed at the documents on the table. You did not come here because you care about Amelia. You came here for money. You manipulated her emotions, invaded my privacy, and now you are trying to extort me. Patricia's face turned red. Extort? I am protecting my daughter. By demanding $1 million property for yourself, how exactly is that protecting her? Mr. Finch started looking uncomfortable. He shifted in his seat. Ma'am, if this is coercion, I cannot notarize these documents. Patricia snapped at him. Shut up, Gregory. Just do your job. I looked at Mr. Finch. Sir, I am not signing anything under duress. You are a witness to attempted extortion. Mr. Finch closed his briefcase and stood up. I am leaving. This is unethical. He walked out the door without looking back. Patricia's composure cracked. She stood up, shaking with rage. Dean, you will regret this. Amelia, if you stay with him, you are a fool. Amelia stood up too, tears streaming down her face. Mom, stop. Just stop. I need time to think. I looked Patricia straight in the eye. Leave. Now. And give me back the apartment key. She laughed bitterly. Or what? Or I will call the police for trespassing and attempted fraud. I already have a witness who left because this was unethical. Do you want to push this further? Patricia stared at me for a long moment. Then she grabbed the key from her purse and threw it on the table. You ungrateful piece of garbage. She grabbed her purse and stormed toward the door. You will both regret this. The door slammed behind her, and suddenly the apartment was very quiet. Amelia and I sat in silence for a long time. She was crying softly, and I sat next to her, not sure if she wanted me to touch her or give her space. Finally, she spoke. I cannot believe she did that. I cannot believe my own mother tried to steal from you. From us. I moved closer and put my arm around her. She did not pull away. I am so sorry I did not tell you sooner. I explained everything again, the inheritance, the timing, why I had been afraid, how I had meant to tell her, but kept putting it off. Amelia listened, wiping her eyes. I get it, she said quietly. I wish you had trusted me. But I get why you were scared. She looked at me, really looked at me. I love you for you, Dean. Those apartments do not change anything. We talked for hours that night. I showed her all the documents, the rental agreements, the bank statements from the separate account. I held nothing back. At the end of it, I made a suggestion. Let's move into the empty apartment, the one my grandfather lived in. We can make it our home. A fresh start. Amelia nodded slowly. Okay, let's do that. Then we talked about Patricia. Amelia was devastated. I need to set boundaries with my mom. I do not know if I can forgive her for this. Whatever you decide, I am here. I support you completely. Amelia called Patricia the next day. I could hear her side of the conversation. Mom, what you did was wrong. You tried to manipulate both of us. I need space. I need time to figure out if I can trust you again. Patricia's voice came through the phone, loud and angry, making excuses. Amelia hung up. She cried again, but this time I think they were tears of relief as much as sadness. 2 weeks later, we moved into the Lake Oswego apartment. It was everything our old place was not. 3 bedrooms, huge windows overlooking the lake, a kitchen big enough to actually cook in. Amelia set up one of the bedrooms as her studio. She bought an easel, organized her art supplies, and started taking on bigger design projects. I watched her transform that space and felt a weight lift off my chest. No more secrets. No more fear. We hired an attorney to make sure Patricia could not make any legal claims against the properties. He assured us that without my signature, she had no grounds for anything. Patricia tried to contact Amelia several times over the next few weeks. Text messages at first. Amelia, I am your mother. Do not do this to me. Amelia did not respond. Then emails. I was wrong. I let greed cloud my judgment. Can we please talk? Amelia showed me each message and we discussed them together. Finally, after a month, she replied, I need more time. Maybe someday we can talk. But not now. I told Amelia it was entirely her decision. If she wanted to rebuild a relationship with Patricia, I would support her. But it had to be on our terms with clear boundaries. Amelia appreciated that. She said she was not ready yet, and I respected that. Life settled into a new rhythm. We cooked dinner in our spacious kitchen, laughed over stupid jokes, hung Amelia's artwork on the walls. The 2 rental apartments continued generating income, and we started planning for the future. Maybe start a business. Maybe travel. Maybe just save and build a life free from financial stress. Whatever we chose, we would choose it together with honesty. Looking back now, I realized something important. I thought I was protecting our love by hiding the truth. But love without honesty is not protection. It is a ticking bomb waiting to explode. Patricia did not expose me. She exposed herself. Money reveals character. It does not create it. Patricia's greed was always there, hidden under a layer of motherly concern. The apartments just brought it into the light. And in a twisted way, I am grateful. I learned who I could trust, and that trust is not defined by blood or obligation. It is earned through honesty and respect. Amelia and I are stronger now than we have ever been. We talk about everything, even the hard stuff. We share our finances, openly make decisions together, and we do not let fear dictate our choices anymore. Patricia still sends messages every now and then. Amelia reads them, but rarely responds. She says maybe one day she will be ready to sit down and talk with her mother, but that day has not come yet. And I do not pressure her. Whenever you are ready, I tell her. Or never. I will support whatever you decide. Sometimes the person who tries to tear you down ends up showing you exactly who deserves to stand by your side. I hid one detail after marriage. My mother-in-law exposed herself, and in doing so, she gave me the greatest gift: clarity. If you are keeping a secret from someone you love, ask yourself this: are you protecting them, or are you protecting yourself from the truth? Because eventually, the truth will come out. Make sure you are ready to face it on your own terms with honesty and courage. That is the only way love survives. I am sitting here now, looking out at the lake, and Amelia just walked into the room. She puts her hand on my shoulder. Ready for dinner? I smile at her. Always. Have you ever had to set boundaries with a family member who crossed the line? Drop your story in the comments. I would love to hear how you handled it. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And do not forget to subscribe, because I have more stories about real life, real struggles, and real lessons. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you walk away from this feeling a little stronger, a little wiser, and a lot more ready to face the truth in your own life. Take care of yourselves out there.